Hello Year 8, so this is a little lesson. We're trying it out this way. Make sure you hold on to the end because I've got some instructions for what I want you to do at the end of the PowerPoint. So make sure you watch the whole video, pause it where I ask you to pause it, like now, so like in a second. So in a second there's going to be, there we go, so there's a picture on the screen. And there's a question. It says, which car is driving more quickly? This graph represents the journey of two cars. Which car is travelling more quickly? How did you know? So if you want to have a pause of the video and have a think, just like we would in class, which one is travelling faster and why? So pause for a second to have a think about it. Okay, so you may have decided, and I'm going to walk you through a few options that you might have thought about. Blue might look like it's going faster because it looks like it's going on a longer line. It's going for a further distance. Okay, but actually red is faster. Okay, red is faster because it's got a steeper line, which means what we call is the gradient is steeper. So it doesn't mean it's going up a bigger hill. Okay, the distance it travels, so this is the distance if they both start here at the start point. The red one travels 250 kilometres in 2.5 hours, whereas the blue one to travel the same distance takes 5 hours. So the blue one is half as fast as the red one. Okay, so what we're going to be looking at in this video is we're going to be looking at speed, distance, time graphs. Okay, they are extremely useful for solving lots of problems. If any of you ever decide to A-level maths, there's a whole unit on speed, distance, time graphs and quite how useful they are and etc. Okay, so I love them because I teach that mechanics bit and so love them. Okay, right, so travel graphs. So what does it mean if the graph slopes downwards? Okay, so we've got this graph. We saw, like in the last slide, these ones were going up. So these ones going up, they make sense. We can perhaps even make sense of these ones. But what does it mean if it's going downwards? Have a think. Okay, ooh. Ooh! It's flicking through, I don't want it to flick through. Okay, I think I'm pressing buttons without meaning to. And what would it mean if the line was curved? So, this means it's going from here, whatever distance away. So it might be, these might be 5s, they might be 1s, I don't know. But it's going away from the point. When it comes back down, it's coming back home. Okay, so it's coming back to the start point. So by here, it's gone no distance. Okay, it's come back to the start. So this means, let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. This means it takes, let's say, an hour to go 2 miles. Then you stop for 2 hours. Then it takes an hour to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miles. Then you stop for an hour. And then it takes you 3 hours to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles back home. Okay, so these lines are all straight. Now they're straight lines because you are going at the same speed every time. If they were curved, then you'd be going at variable speeds. Okay, so you won't have to deal with that in GCSE. You might if you do A-level. Okay, so what does the slope of the line tell us? Well, if it's steep, they're going fast. If it's flatter, they're going slow. Okay, what is happening at the places where the line is horizontal? They're not travelling anywhere. Yeah. So, true or false, I want you to pause. I'll read them through anyway, so you can pause it before or after I read through, I don't mind. I'm going to read through them and I want you to decide whether they're true or false. So, the slope going down represents travelling down a hill. The length of the line represents the distance. The horizontal line represents no change in distance. Sloping up represents moving away from the starting point. The steeper line, the faster it's travelling. So pause and just note down somewhere if you want to, or just have a think, true or false. Okay, are you right? So the first one, the slope going down represents travelling down a hill. No, it does not. Okay, it means going back to the start point. Now the length of the line represents the distance. No, okay, the height is the distance, not the length. The horizontal line represents no change in distance, yeah, because you're not going anywhere. Sloping up represents moving away from the start point. Yeah, we're moving away, moving away, that's true. The steeper the line, the faster it's travelling. Yes. Okay. So, label the distance time graph. So, we've got 4 things. I want to see if you can put the right things in the right places. So, pause the video. I will read through them, so you can either pause before or after I read through them, and decide whether it's A, B, C, or D. So, moving at constant speed towards the starting point. Moving rapidly away from the starting point at a constant speed. Moving slowly at a constant speed. Not moving. So pause, have a think. And why? Why is it? Okay, so 1. Moving at a constant speed towards the starting point. So that means we're going from away back towards. So that one is D. Moving rapidly away from the starting point at a constant speed. And moving slowly at a constant speed. So these two are similar. They're moving and you're going at a constant speed. This one is faster than this one. That one's rapidly, is fast, slowly. Okay, so you've got to decide whether it's A or B. You can see B is a much sharper line than A. Okay, much steeper line, not sharper. So B has got to be the rapidly, which means that A has got to be the constant speed, and then C is not moving. Okay? Right, so have a look. What's the same and what's different about the 2 graphs? Okay, so do you notice they're kind of vaguely in a similar kind of style? Yeah, you've got, you're going away from a point, you're going at different kind of speeds, you stop at a point, you come back, there's vaguely similar, but can you see A is curved? So this bit, he's travelling quite slow, and then he goes faster and faster and faster and faster, just really fast. And then he goes at a constant speed. Okay, then C, this bit is longer than that bit, assuming they're on the same scale. And then D goes really fast away and then starts to slow down until he's... So this might be what my running home looks like if I ever went for a run. Oh, that's funny. I'd start off fast on my run home, and then I'd get slower and slower the more tired I get until I'm home. Okay, but I'm still moving. Okay, whereas this one, you're at a, this is more advanced runners that run all the time, and they will run at a constant speed all of the time. Okay, so the tortoise and the hare. Describe the race in detail. Which line represents the hare? Which line represents the tortoise? So there's kind of 2 levels of difficulty of this. This is the hardest level of difficulty, where I ask you to write the story for the blue line, the story for the orange line, and tell me which one's which. And I haven't given you any clues. So if you want to do the hardest one, pause now. If you want to do a slightly easier one, I've got some key phrases that you can use on the next slide. And you can pause there. Okay, so you've either had that one or this one here. You can see we've got words, phrases that you can use for the tortoise, phrases that you can use for the hare. Okay, so you choose, again, labelling the different parts, putting them in order. Can you add any more detail? Okay, so hopefully you've either done it as this one or done it as this one. I'm going to do it as this one, but I'm going to add in more detail than they've got. Okay, and we're going to see how much detail we can actually add in just from the picture. So have you decided which one's the tortoise and which one's the hare? Okay, hopefully you know the story. Look, This one actually reaches the 5 kilometres, this one doesn't. We all know the story, the tortoise wins the race, which means that the blue one's the hare. Also, if we know the story, the hare falls asleep. Okay, so if we go, Henry Hare falls asleep. Okay, so he falls asleep here, doesn't he? At that point there, if I call that A, that's A. Yeah? Henry Hare wakes up. That's B. So that's here. That's where he wakes up. Okay. Henry Hare starts quickly. So that's probably here, isn't it? So C. Okay, so if we look at kind of the speeds of the line, that's quite a quick line. It's reasonably steep. Henry Hare charges towards the finish line, so that's here. So that's D. And going that way. Henry Hare stubs his toe and is slowed as a result. So that's going to be E. Can you see E? This gradient is lower than that gradient and it's lower than that one. Okay. We can see if we can add any detail afterwards. So, Tony Tortoise sees the hare asleep and increases the speed. Okay. So, he sees the hare is asleep here, doesn't he? Because that's when he increases his speed. So that one, E, let's go F. Okay. Tony Tortoise quietly runs past sleeping hare. Okay, so this is where, that point there, F, so on G, that's where they're the same distance away from the start point. Tony Tortoise gets tired and has to go a bit slower. So that's going to be here, H, and Tony Tortoise starts slowly, HI, so that's down here. Now, that's if you were using those ones. Personally, I'd have told the story slightly different. Okay, I would have said Henry Hare travels for 15 minutes and travels 3 kilometres. If I was being really clever, I could turn 3 kilometres in 15 minutes into kilometres per hour. 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. So if he's going 3 kilometres in a quarter of an hour, he'd be able to go 6 kilometres in half an hour. So he'd be able to go 12 kilometres per hour. Then I would say he falls asleep for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes and stays in the same place. Then I would say he takes 10 minutes. He wakes up, he takes 10 minutes to travel a kilometre. So that would be 6 kilometres an hour. Pen stopped working. Come on. Per hour. And then he goes almost, but doesn't quite get there, another kilometre in 5 minutes. Okay. And I would say Tony Tortoise takes 30 minutes to travel 1 kilometre, which means if I go for his speed, in 60 minutes at that rate, he would have only gone 2 kilometres. So he'd have gone 2 kilometres an hour. Then he speeds up and he goes 1, 2, 3 kilometres in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a third of an hour, and he went 3 kilometres. So in 3/3, he'd have gone 3 lots of 3, which is 9 kilometres per hour. Then he slowed down and he went 1 kilometre in 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. So then he would have gone 4 kilometres per hour. Can you see that his speed was always slower than the hare's speed? Okay, which I think is quite interesting. So you could have added that level of detail, you didn't need to, but it's interesting to see how much detail you can put into these things. Okay, so I want you to write your own story for these graphs. Okay, so write them down on paper. And these can be any kind of story. What will usually happen in an exam is the other way around. In an exam, they're likely to give you the worded story and ask you to draw a graph for it. Okay, so see how much information you can give and still get the graph drawn. Pause, have a go. You've got 2 questions there. Have a go at both those questions. I would like you to send me You can send it to me as a Word document, your stories for each one, or you can write it down on paper and do that. I don't mind. Okay, so have a go. You can see that question 1 has got lots of complexity to the story, but question 2, we've got 3 different people in this story. Okay, because you've got 3 different lines. So have a go and send that to me. I'll be really interested to see what kind of stories you come up with and what you can share. Finally then, this is kind of the question you might be able to get. So this is our last thing for this video. Back there you should have paused. If you haven't paused, pause and have a go at those questions. Last thing, pause at this question now. Have a go at this question. Can you answer it? We'll go through the answers in a second. Okay, so it said, what time did the bus leave Borough? So the bus left Borough at 10:10. How far did the bus travel? So it went all the way up here. So it probably went 25 miles. Maybe slightly less, but we don't have enough information from here. How many times did the bus stop on the journey? 1, 2, 3 times. How long is the journey in total? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes. Okay, so that is my video lesson for today. So you've had time, you've had me walking you through stuff like a normal lesson. You've had a chance to go through questions. I hope you have paused the video and had a go. If you haven't, at least hopefully you've watched all the video all the way through. Now, I have said I would like you to send me your work, your answers for these ones. Often I won't ask you to send me anything. What I will ask you to send me instead is a 1-word comment. And that 1-word comment will be a keyword that I give you for the video. Okay, so for this one, I'd like to see your stories because I'm quite interested in seeing what stories you can get. But I might have given you a word at the end. Next time, I will probably pepper the letters of the word throughout the video, so you have to watch the whole video through, and then all you'll have to do to show me you've done your work is just to send me that comment. Okay, so that I'm not taking everything in, you don't have to worry about submitting everything, but I want you to have a go at the questions, because as we all know, maths is a skill and you don't learn skills unless you're practicing them. Okay, you wouldn't, watch somebody play a piano and then turn up to a recital having never touched a piano yourself and expect to be able to play. Okay, it's just like that. You've got to practice if you want to be able to play the piano. You've got to practice the maths if you want to be able to do the maths. Okay, so I hope you're all well. I will try and get another video done for Friday's lesson. Yes, because I don't teach you on a Thursday, do I? So I'll try and get a video done for you for Friday's lesson. Very confused about what day of the week it is. Yes. Friday's lesson. I'll try and get a video for you to do and maybe a piece of work on there. Okay, right. Look after yourselves. I'll be talking to you soon.